2018 question on the Junior Cert Higher Level Paper 1. Work out the value of 3p minus 4t squared when p is 6 and t is 5. Okay, so they've given you the values here for the variables. So 3p minus 4t squared. So basically they've told you p is 6. When two letters or a number and a letter are written together like this, that means multiply. Okay, minus 4t squared. Okay, so t is 5. So always remember BOMDAS in maths. Okay, so if you're working this one out in parts, you have to do the squared part, which is order, okay, before you do the multiply part, which is multiplying in the 4. So you can't go 4 5s or 20 squared. You have to go 5 squared is 25 and then multiply by the 4. If you put all that into the calculator in one go, though, you won't see that. You won't see an error because the calculator is programmed with BOMDAS. Okay, so if I put into my calculator 4 5 squared, I am going to get the right answer because calculator works with BOMDAS. So I got minus 82 for that one. Okay, part B, multiply out and simplify 2x minus 3 times 4 minus 5x plus x squared. Okay, so this is no different to something like that where you do this, okay, or you go 2x by everything in the second bracket minus 3 by everything in the second bracket. Okay, all that's different is that there's a third term there in the second bracket. Okay, so what you do is you just work with it and you put your x squared in to your second bracket and you do it by the exact same method. Okay, it's just a harder version of it. So if I split this, it is 2x by everything in the second bracket. And then I go back for the minus 3 also by everything in the second bracket. So 2x by 4, 8x, 2x by minus 5x is minus 5 2s are 10x squared. 2x by x squared is 2x cubed. Minus 3 by 4 is minus 12. Minus by minus is a plus. 3 5s are 15x. Minus by plus is a minus 3x squared. Okay. So let's just tidy it up. So remember, x cubes cannot be added to x squares or x squares to x's or x's to numbers. So that's my only x cubed term. So that's 2x cubed. There's my x squares and my x squared. So I have minus 10 of them, minus 3 of them. Okay, so that's minus 13 of them. Okay, and then I have 15x here, 8x here. So 15 and 8 are 23x and the minus 12. Okay, and that's it in its simplest form. Okay, there's nothing more you can do with that. Okay, and then part C, remember our 4 types of factorizing. Difference of 2 squares. It's not that because it's got 4 terms. It's not a quadratic, okay, because it's got 4 terms. It could be taking out the highest common factor or it could be grouping. Now grouping has 4 terms, 1, 2, 3, 4, so chances are this is grouping and it is indeed grouping, okay? And grouping is actually just an extension of taking out the highest common factor. So when you group 2 terms together and 2 other terms together. So it doesn't matter which terms you group together. I'm looking at these 2 and I could group, I could take out the D. Do you see the D is in common between those 2? Okay, I'm then looking at these 2 because if I group these 2 together, I have to group these 2 together. So if I look at these 2, well, actually they have nothing in common. The 2 and the 5 don't divide into each other and there's no letter common. Okay, so that's not a good way to group. So maybe let's do the D with the D and the E with the E, okay? So let's rewrite that down as 10 dE minus 5EF, okay, minus dF plus 2d squared, okay? So I haven't done anything here. I've just literally swapped places with them two. So I'm now going to group these two together and these two together. Let me make sure that I took it down right, plus 2d squared, okay? So you're looking at these two terms and you're going, well, what's common? Well, I see an E common, and I also see the 5 common there, and of course the factors of 10 are 5 by 2, so there's also a common 5 in as part of that one. Okay, so you take out what's common, we take out the 5 and we take out the E, and then we open a bracket, and what's left over? Well, I have the 5 there on the outside, so there's a 2 here. I have the E on the outside, so there's a D left over. Okay, so what am I doing here, right? I am writing 10 dE as factors. Okay, and again, remember when you split something into its factors, you're just splitting it into two pieces that when you multiply by each other, you get back to the original. I'm splitting this into two factors that when I multiply them, I get back to the original. So 5 2s will give me that 10, and there's my dE. Okay, so that's good. Let's take the 5e also out of this term. Well, the 5 is already there, the e is already there, so it's just the f. Okay, so then let's have a look at this one. What's common here? Just the d, I think, because this term doesn't have an f, and this term doesn't have a d, a 2. So just the d. So let's take that outside. So what am I left with? Well, I'm left with the d is gone. I'm left with a minus sign. Can you see that? And I'm left with the f. And then over here, I've taken out one of these d's. But of course, d squared is d multiplied by d. So I've only taken out one of the d's. So I have another d left over, and I have the 2. Okay, and then the 2 on the outside go into the bracket, and these two go into their own bracket. Okay, now when you look at the inside brackets, so 2d minus f and minus f plus 2d, you're looking that the two brackets are the exact same, and they are in this case, they're just written, I suppose, backwards. Okay, so 2 plus 3 would be the same as 3 plus 2. Okay, or 10 minus 3, I could also write that as minus 3 plus 10. Okay, so that's all that's happening up here. 2d minus f is the same as minus f plus 2d. Okay, just make sure that the signs are also the same. So minus f plus 2d plus 2d. Okay, so I'm happy that those are the same. So 5e plus d goes into one bracket, 2d minus f into the other bracket. And that's that one done.